Welcome Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Veena Bharat. Let's take a look at the headlines. Flood-stricken residents of the Diego Martin district receive relief from the Ministry of the People and Social Development. Acting Police Commissioner maintains that the action taken regarding former Minister Colin Partup were reasonable and within the law. And Trinidad and Tobago's Gold Book is launched in celebration of our 50th year as an independent nation. For many of Diego Martin's flood victims, this year's 50th independence celebration comes with some sorrow, but there is a glimmer of hope for some 156 affected residents who received gifts in the form of checks from the Ministry of the People and Social Development.
The staff of the ministry has been on the ground in Diego Martin since Saturday, August 11th, from as early as 10 a.m., working assiduously in flood-ravaged areas. Today, the residents can begin to move back towards a certain amount of normalcy. In the first week, 379 assessments were completed and over 50 temporary food cards distributed, along with emergency food hampers.
To date, 450 assessments have been completed, and our staff continues to assess and work with the people on their way to recovery. We also praise the work of the ODPM, and therefore I am advised that only 64 affected persons assessed by our teams had insurance. 36 had no recovery needs.
The minister says he knows that these checks will in no way make up for their losses and trauma they have endured. But it is his hope that it will move them one step closer to a greater sense of normalcy in their lives and homes. Dr. Ramadasing also pointed out proposals for the provision of school supplies to needy children.
We have also picked up through Diego Martin the need for extra support to those children who are going back to school. The Ministry of Education, we are quite aware, is providing free textbooks, but textbooks alone are not needed. And so we will be unrelenting in the plight to assist our citizens, and we will go to the Cabinet to propose further assistance, perhaps in the form of a one-off grant to assist at least 2,000 to 3,000 children over Trinidad and Tobago who we have information are in desperate need of exercise book, pencils.
As the country stands on the cusp of its 50th year of independence, Minister Ramadasing is assuring that within the weeks ahead, he will continue to work tirelessly to bring necessary relief to those who need it. The minister says he has also approached various stakeholders to help assist with the initiative and has received positive feedback.
Just this morning, I got off the phone with a major book supplier who will donate 130 book lists to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. From our client base, we will get those who need it the most, who cannot go back to school if they do not get that support. We will partner with the MP's offices as part of the role of the Ministry of the People is to strengthen the capacity of the MP's offices. And so we will reach those who need it the most through their representatives.
Dr. Ramadasing says this is a golden gift to the children who are part of the next golden generation of Trinidad and Tobago. Joseph Lopez, News 4.
Chairman of the Diego Martin Regional Corporation, Anthony Sami, says the rainy season is not over and is therefore asking the relevant agencies and teams to be on their alert and offer their valuable assistance if the need arises. He was speaking at the handing over ceremony of flood relief checks to over 150 flood victims in Diego Martin. While warning that the rainy season was still upon us, the Diego Martin Regional Corporation's chairman says he is hopeful that the response by the relevant bodies to any future flooding will be just as swift and efficient as it was with the recent flooding situation in Diego Martin.
I'd like to encourage them to continue to support us because the rainy season is not over. And if you remember last year, November, is when we had severe floods and landslides also. So I'd like to encourage everyone to continue to support us. We are now also looking at getting things in gear for the next incident. So I've already asked our disaster coordinator, Mr. David, to look at putting things in place for when the next incident occurs. I want to tell you what happened this time around. The response was swift. The action that was taken was swift. And that is why we are today really in a restoration mode.
Mr. Anthony Sami is commending the various agencies and teams who came forward and worked tirelessly at bringing relief to persons affected by the severe flooding. He is also thanking the various corporate sponsors for their generosity in providing much-needed items to the distressed flood victims.
I'd like to say a special thanks to all of those agencies who worked with us day and night. They are the real heroes. It was my humble pleasure to be in charge of them, but they worked wonderfully. I mean, one would have never thought that Ministry of Works would work with CPEP or URP and vice versa. But they all worked together, we coordinated well, and thanks must be given to everyone in that team.
Meanwhile, the Diego Martin Regional Corporation's chairman is revealing that the Emergency Operations Center is being downgraded to a Recovery and Restoration Coordinating Committee. This, he says, is because they are not operating in an emergency mode at this time.
What that will mean is that the major agencies, such as Ministry of Works, Drainage, CPEP, URP, WASA, would continue to work with us on all projects that need to be done in the Diego Martin region. I also would be asking Minister Ganga Singh to have a meeting, and also the other ministers who would be involved like the Minister of Works, to come up with a comprehensive drainage plan for the Diego Martin region, because we need to put that plan in place so that we would have the least amount of recurrence of flooding and landslides and landslips in the Diego Martin region.
He says the Recovery and Restoration Coordinating Committee will be continuing with the efforts of the Emergency Operations Center, with the focus being on the completion of the work which was started in the area.
We're going to have meetings every Friday from 1 to 4 p.m. at our administrative building, where the Recovery and Restoration Coordinating Committee will meet to ensure that the works that need to be carried on are completed as quickly as possible.
News on TV4 will be back after the break.
Homo sapien, we'll call him Mark. It spends its days trying to attract a mate. Success. What follows is a series of celebratory actions unique to this species. Every Homo sapien has their own way of displaying themselves to attract a female. But things don't go according to plan.
Where the water gone?
No water, no love. Pay your WASA bill today.
The Water and Sewage Authority of Trinidad and Tobago. Water security for every sector. Deliver it, sustain it.
We are reporting from communities across the country. People are calling Nalis Libraries their library. Tell me, why is Nalis your library?
My library is where I can have fun learning.
My library is helping me earn better grades with online research resources.
My library is my gateway to the world of information.
My library is providing access to the differently able. As a visually impaired person, I can envision limitless possibilities.
My library is making my world truly worldwide with free internet access.
My library is helping me keep an eye on my health with access to the virtual health library via the Nalis website.
Nalis is my library.
Thank you for staying with us. Acting Police Commissioner Stephen Williams says his actions regarding the detainment of the former minister in the Ministry of National Security, Colin Partap, outside the Zen nightclub on Keith Street in Port of Spain were reasonable and within the law. He was speaking to members of the media during the Trinidad and Tobago Daily Press Conference.
As the Commissioner of Police, I have access to every single police building. As the Commissioner of Police, I am responsible for taking decisions as I see fit, which are within the law and which are reasonable.
The police commissioner clearing the air on the matter regarding his involvement in the Colin Partap issue. Mr. Stephen Williams also gave a detailed account of the incident.
I decided to proceed to Port of Spain to address the matter. I proceeded to Port of Spain and subsequently found out that the minister was taken to Belmont Police Station. Having arrived at Belmont Police Station, I addressed the matter by speaking to the officer, senior officer, who was involved in the incident, who gave me an account. At that point in time, I'm speaking about a sergeant of police, and also spoke to the then minister. Following the discourse, the minister subsequently undertook a breath test.
He reveals that the results from the breathalyzer test, which was finally taken, show that the alcohol reading was not beyond the legal limit. The police commissioner also indicated to the media what was the advice he offered to the then minister.
The result of that breath test revealed that 28 micrograms of alcohol was generated from that test. The prescribed limit is 35 micrograms, and that result signified that the former minister in Ministry of National Security had not failed a breath test. I advised the minister that he was being permitted to leave the station in light of the results. However, complete investigation would be conducted in relation to that matter, and the advice of the DPP will be sought in order to make a determination whether to prosecute the minister for his refusal in the first instance of undertaking a breath test.
Meanwhile, the police commissioner is commending the police officers who were involved in the incident, saying they displayed much professionalism. He is also urging other law enforcers to display a similar attitude to work.
I want to commend the police officers who were involved in that incident of that morning. And specifically because the officers, from my assessment, conducted themselves in a professional manner that we expect police officers to conduct themselves. In the realm of the public, that is sometimes considered more as the exception than the norm.
We'll return with more news after the break.
Honoring and respecting the elderly begins with you and me. And in the event of a disaster, your support before, during, and after will be critical to their well-being. Build a support team where each member will have a specific task Your team must include someone who is within easy reach of the elderly person. Make an evacuation plan and practice your plan. Stock up on special caregiving items such as incontinence items, cleaning and sanitizing supplies. Have on hand a minimum of 2 weeks supply of all essential medications. In the event of a disaster, accessing medication may become difficult. Keep testing and insulin supplies that do not require refrigeration for diabetics. Secure all medical supplies in a clean, waterproof, easy-to-carry container. Keep a list of medication, caregiving instruction, doctors' names, and contact information. In case an elderly person is relocated to a shelter, this information is vital to their continued care. Dehydration is a serious health problem for older adults. Store at least 1 gallon per person per day. Store at least 3 days' worth. Consider special dietary needs when stocking up on food supplies. Safeguard important documents and provide an ID bracelet or necklace to persons with special needs, such as persons with Alzheimer's disease. Remember, disaster readiness and preparedness begins with you and me.
A message from the Ministry of National Security, Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management.
Trinidad and Tobago's Gold Book, which celebrates our golden anniversary of independence, has been launched. The book was revealed at the gala event held at the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Port of Spain.
Trinidad and Tobago, Terrific and Tranquil. That is the title of the book, which will celebrate our nation's history and culture through words and images. The book is in commemoration of the Golden Independence Jubilee. Minister of Community Development, the Honorable Winston Peters, says the book chronicles our heritage and the legacies left by persons who helped build the nation. He adds that the launch of the book is a historic event which pays tribute to Trinidadians and Tobagonians.
The Gold Book is one that chronicles the places and faces of our Trinbagonian heritage. Places that represent our cosmopolitan beginnings, and the faces of icons and ordinary persons who have built us a very proud legacy. I also wish to commend the scores of photographers and writers who have contributed works that highlight our common past, our shared future. More importantly, it pays tribute to the people of our independent nation. It is indeed my pleasure to be associated with this historic event.
Planning Minister Dr. the Honorable Bowen Vedat Tiwari describes the book as being about our people and how they work, live and play. He adds that it is also about our past, present and future, who we are, where we have come from and where we are headed. Minister Tiwari describes the book as having captured the spirit of hope and optimism through the energy and vitality of life in Trinidad and Tobago. Meanwhile, Minister Peters says all Trinidadians and Tobagonians must seek to instill the change necessary for this country to prosper and grow.
As we celebrate, may we all acknowledge and fulfill our roles as change agents to build a prosperous and resilient nation. Let me officially wish each and every one of you a happy 50th anniversary of our independence. And may I add that we continue to strive to be a truly independent people.
Gregory McBurney, News 4.
Meanwhile, Minister of Planning, Dr. the Honorable Bo Tiwari, also speaking at the book launch, is urging citizens to not give up on Trinidad and Tobago. He believes we must instead embrace the challenges the country faces if we are to continue to experience growth and development.
Our challenges today must not make us weary. We must overcome them as we endeavor to create a country which can sustain us and sustain generations to come. Over the past decades, Trinidad and Tobago has experienced tremendous growth and development. As we acknowledge these gains, we must not lose sight of where we might see ourselves in 2062, even if we will not be here.
While reminding citizens that they must not lose sight of where this country is heading, Minister Tiwari noted that the Gold Book has done a wonderful job of portraying where we have come from. The book is able to portray life in Trinidad and Tobago through the use of vivid images which seemingly bring the country to life in front of the reader's eyes. He adds that the book must be treasured as it highlights images of our people united and living as one under conditions of peace and freedom.
These pictures that show life in Trinidad and Tobago is not all about song and dance. It is about people of different races, of different religions and traditions, of different economic status, working, playing, living side by side, whether it is in the Queen's Park Savannah, or sitting next to each other in houses of worship, or playing Pagua or enjoying carnival.
Also speaking at the book launch, Chairman of the Tourism Development Company Limited, Mr. Rajiv Chandela, says the book is a tourism-friendly product which greatly assists in the marketing of Trinidad and Tobago.
I was extremely pleased with the quality of this book as I've looked through it. The photos are breathtaking, and the way in which our beautiful Twin Island is represented is covered in all of its aspects and makes it a great tourism-friendly product for all to enjoy. It encapsulates the facets of our culture, history, and socio-political elements very succinctly and eloquently. So it is without hesitation I can endorse this book, especially during this special year and time in terms of our 50th anniversary. I hope everyone gets the chance to not only glance through, but really digest it, because there may be some facets of information about our sweet Trinbago that can be discovered by even the most knowledgeable of our readers.
Gregory McBurney, News 4.
We'll take a short break and be back with more on TV4.
I'm Natasha, and like most Trinbagonians, I love the beach. The beach can be fun, but we have to be tsunami smart and know the warning signs. You're at the beach and you feel the earth shake. Run. You see the water moving an unusual distance out from the shore. Run. You hear a strange roar from the sea. Run. If you experience any of these warning signs, run to higher ground. Be tsunami smart and know the natural warning signs. They could save your life.
A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management, United States Agency for International Development, Caribbean Disaster and Emergency Management Agency, UWI Seismic Research Center, and the European Union.
Tourism Minister Stephen Cadiz has launched the ministry's tourism Facebook page during the month of this country's celebration of its Golden Independence Jubilee, and also at a time when citizens are toasting to their most successful Olympic team. Speaking at the launch of the ministry's tourism Facebook page, Tourism Minister Stephen Cadiz revealed that the aim of his ministry is to utilize cost-effective, high-quality, technology-oriented marketing programs that would afford maximum reach at the lowest possible cost. The tourism Facebook page, he says, was launched in keeping with this objective.
We are using our Facebook page to showcase the breathtakingly beautiful scenery of Trinidad and Tobago, the treasure trove of cultures that we have, and the fascinating and warm people that make up this Twin Island Republic. Our Facebook at tourism.gov.tt page provides up-to-date news and notices, insights into Trinidad and Tobago's culture and traditions, as well as local tips for a trip to our Twin Island Republic. It is our hope that this Facebook page will take people on a fascinating journey through the many facets of Trinidad and Tobago, and inspire a variety of different experiences of culture, food, tradition, history, and people.
Minister Cadiz says very soon his ministry will be launching a series of competitions in a bid to promote the Facebook page. He's also revealing plans to introduce other such initiatives.
In the upcoming months, we will launch several quizzes, Show Your Colors competition, encouraging one and all to post photographs as you wearing the national colors, events and giveaways, all with the aim of increasing our visibility. But this Facebook page is but one example of more aggressive and targeted awareness and promotional campaigns that are forthcoming. We're also looking at completely redeveloping our organization's www.tourism.gov.tt website and will embark upon an aggressive campaign to market that site, as well as develop new tourism promotional brochures and new collateral material for distribution far and wide.
The minister says he hopes the new development will provide an efficient foundation of valuable information on the beautiful Twin Island Republic.
I hope that our Facebook page will be the source of valuable information about our beautiful country in the realm of internet, and will play an important role in marketing Trinidad and Tobago as the premier destination of choice in the Caribbean.
That's all from us here on the News 4 Report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Verna Barath, wishing you a very happy independence.